Hi, welcome to this New Year's edition of Garden Guns. Crikey, what's that? Three videos? Third video is this? Yeah, I think it's the third one. In a month, that's got to be some sort of upload record for me. But anyway, what are we here to talk about today? We're here to talk about this RTI Prophet. RTI is a Slovakian arms manufacturer. Something that I've, not really got a huge amount of experience with. I wasn't even aware that there were Slovakian airgun manufacturers. I would have imagined there would have been some form of small arms business in the country. But the only other sort of European, that's sort of heading towards the East European company that I have any experience with is CZ out of Czech. So, and I've got to be honest, I love their rifles, very impressed with CZ, and subsequently I'm also incredibly impressed with RTI in terms of their manufacturing. This rifle is incredibly well put together. The overall fit and feel of this rifle is solid. All the materials are high-end, the action and the mechanism is, second to none, really smooth. And coming off the back of the Reximex Ixia talk that I did the other day, it's been really interesting to sort of see the difference, because this is definitely in the high to medium to high end price bracket at around about 13 to £1,400 new. Whereas, the Ixia is down, I think it's 600, I can't quite remember, but have a look online, but I think it's in the £600 bracket for the Ixia. So, you're talking, even at £600 to £700, you're talking half, the Ixia's half the price of this. And there is a difference, without a shadow of a doubt, in terms of overall feel and quality. This has the Ixia with no problem at all. It is a very well made and nicely put together bit of kit. Let's have a quick chat about the rifle itself. So on this rifle we've got a Picatinny rail. I believe they say it's 20 MOA, not that you need that sort of adjustment for the UK legal limits unless you are trying to lob pellets out to 100 or something like that. This rifle is the UK version, so it's unadjustable. You can't adjust the power on this, and it's sub 12 foot-pounds. It's in 177, so it's got a 20-inch Lothar. I can never remember which way around that is. Barrel. It's screw cut at the end, so it's got a thread protector, half-inch UNF, so you can fit an external silencer on it. Although the barrel is shrouded, it's not the quietest, but it's also I'd say it's just about back garden friendly. But if you were out hunting with it, you probably want to put some form of further moderation on it. This particular rifle has got a half-litre carbon fibre bottle on it, which is good for sort of between 550 and 600 shots, I believe. It's regulated. It's got a two-stage match trigger, which the second stage is adjustable for weight and pull. You can adjust the first stage, but RTI recommend that is done by a specialist. I haven't looked in how to adjust that. I haven't messed around with it. This isn't my rifle, so once again I haven't messed around with it too much. I've just got this on loan for testing, which we'll talk about at the end of the video as well. It's got a really nice sort of rubberized, it's not quite an AR-15 sort of, it's not that same, you couldn't put this on an AR-15 grip. It does seem to be a bit more proprietary, but it is an incredibly nice rubberized and good feeling grip. It comes back into, as I say, this 20-inch barrel here. It's got a plenum chamber to help give that consistency and to shots, which somebody maybe in the comments can explain to me exactly what the plenum chamber, how it difference, because I think with our shooting, the sub 12 foot-pounds, the regulator takes care of most of our consistency requirements. or a decent, well-balanced hammer, a la the Harper slingshot mechanism in the old day states. What else can I say? Unadjustable butt pad. This does not adjust, so you are very much sort of limited with your cheek placement. Side lever cocking, which is that sort of, just don't want to flag, biathlon sort of style cocking lever. I think it's biathlon. It's once again really good. Standard push safety. Yeah, other than that, always forget to mention the magazine, and a 15-shot magazine, which is spring-loaded, and I really like this magazine. It's easy to load, and you can load one shot or you can load 15. It is easy to easy to load, easy to use, and it's just basically slightly spring-loaded on that, and all you do is it's a little a ledge, call it a ledge, a little bit of a ledge in there, and you just rotate the magazine so that the ledge has disappeared behind, and you start just dropping your pellets in one by one as you go around, and that gives you whatever you want until you've filled it up with a full 15. What else to say? Well, other than that, I think the best thing to do is get on with the target portion. It's going to be difficult today. I'm out at 30 yards. I was testing this. I've been shooting this rifle out to 35, but the wind is decent. Well, it's breezy. I think that's the word. It's breezy today. I think it's up to 74 miles an hour in Scotland, and we've got some good gusts coming through. So I'm not expecting a huge amount out of the accuracy portion. I'm making my excuses now. Obviously it's going to be the wind, and it's nothing to do with my inability to shoot repeatably well. But anyway, let's get down range, do the shooting portion, and then we'll come back and have a summing up. Right, so here we go, hopefully for the last time. Shot this a couple of times already. 10 shots, JSB exact heavy Diablos, 10.3 E4 grains and 4.52 on the head size. 10 shots, 30 yards, in the lightest wind so far today. Let's see if I can do this any justice. Right. Okay, there we go. Go and grab the target, come back and have a quick chat. Oh, right, well, this is day 2 of this review. I did shoot the end bit last night, but when I reviewed the footage, it was getting a little bit dark and the footage was starting to get a little bit pixelated and grainy. This camera doesn't do particularly well once it starts to get a bit towards twilight. Anyway, how did we do, or how did I do? Well, as I said, 10 shots at 30 yards. Effectively, we've got almost 2 groups there, and they're sort of just about fits underneath a little fingernail. So, that's not got the biggest of hands, so that's, it's well inside a 1p piece, that group. As you can see, as I said, it's effectively almost 2 separate groups, and I think that was down to me. One of the issues I've had with this rifle is getting comfortable behind it. and maintaining a consistent shooting position. I've struggled with eye relief with the scope, I've struggled sort of getting down onto the rifle, and that's kind of due to, you know, my build, the fact that, you know, my cheek sort of ends up with this scope and the height of the mounts, my cheek ends up pushing against the magazine over here, and it's, you know, from my perspective, it just wasn't the most comfortable of rifles to shoot. You know, maybe I should have tried the my MTC Viper. No, is it Viper Connect? Yeah, the zero eye relief scope. Maybe a zero eye relief scope, so I can be, you know, maybe further forward, further down the rifle might have been a bit better. But yeah, that's currently on another rifle I'm testing. So I didn't want to mess around with that. Overall, I've been phenomenally impressed with how accurate this rifle is. I certainly wanted to be able to do it justice, and you know, I really think I wanted to shoot the groups out to 40 yards. But with the way that the wind was, just couldn't get a consistently good group. You know, every time I was sort of on for a decent group at 40 yards, it, you know, got a gust through and it just opened it up slightly. And I felt that what I was doing didn't truly represent how good the rifle is. I know for a fact that when I do my part at 30 yards, I'm shooting a ragged one whole group, effectively 10 shots. You know, this rifle is ridiculously accurate. Would I recommend somebody buying one? You know, if you had the money in your pocket and this is what you were, you know, this style of rifle is what you were looking to get, then I would, without a shadow of a doubt, suggest that you find somewhere that's got one in stock, and you go down and actually, you know, spend some time shouldering it and just getting a feel for it, seeing how it feels to you and how your position is when you're behind it. We're all built differently, so what might not work for me will probably work for somebody else. One of the interesting things I didn't mention about this rifle is I've never seen this before, is that the magazine basically can rotate from either side. So even though the cocking lever, as far as I'm aware, doesn't, you can't change the position of that, you can change the position of the magazine so you can have a more comfortable cheek weld against the rifle itself. So which is a nice touch, especially with a piece of kit like this, where you know, really is almost skeletal. You know, it's a skeletonized rifle. It's very minimalist in its overall design. But you know, that's definitely going to appeal to some people. I mean, I like it, but it's not really my taste, and I certainly wouldn't spend the money on something like this. I would definitely spend the money on something more traditional. Having said that, I know that that's not everybody's taste and everybody's cup of tea, and not everybody thinks like that. And thanks for that, because it would be terrible if we all were just, you know, cut and paste of each other and we all like the same thing, because then there'd be no innovation and we wouldn't get interesting things like this to talk about coming into the air gunning world. And as a high-powered rifle, from what I understand, you know, with the RTI proprietary barrels, you know, once you go above 177, I believe they do their own proprietary barrels, and they're capable of managing slugs quite well, from what I understand. And you then get the power adjustability, and then, you know, this rifle moves up a further level. How do I think it compares to something like the Reximex Ixia? Well, without a shadow of a doubt, you can see where that extra money goes in the overall fit, feel, build quality and materials used. This is the next level compared to the Ixia. Is it worth that extra price tag? That isn't for me to decide. That is up for the person that would be looking to buy to go and investigate for themselves. As I say, I can definitely see where that money has gone, or, you know, goes. this is a much better rifle. You know, it is more accurate, it has got a nicer trigger, it's got a smoother cocking lever, it's got a larger capacity bottle. You know, it is overall, in terms of all the ticks, if you add the ticks up, a far better rifle. Having said that, I found, you know, with the adjustability, the butt pad, you know, the cheek piece, the fact that the Reximex had a cheek piece on it, you know, I found the Reximex more comfortable, and I actually enjoyed shooting the Reximex a bit more than I enjoyed shooting this. This was interesting, but once again for me it just came to that, just not being able to get comfortable behind the rifle consistently. And you know, I'll refer back to this, if you aren't consistent, then you will end up with bigger groups. You know, I slightly adjusted my position a couple of times, and I think that's where you saw these shots going a little bit wayward. You know, initially I was, you know, feeling, well, yeah, I was hoping that it was going to be a slightly better group than that. But anyway, I think that's all I can say about this. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I haven't waffled too much. I hope you found that this interesting. It's certainly been interesting for me. It's been really interesting to shoot a higher end bullpup. I just need to get my hands on an impact or something along those lines now. You know, a Dreamline. I'd like to try one of those and see how that those stack up against this. So anyway, once again, thank you very much for watching, and until the next video, I hope you all stay safe, and I look forward to making the next video for you. All the best.